Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Liverpool could sign Marc Guéhi and Giovanni Leoni before transfer window closes. Liverpool could sign both Giovanni Leoni and Marc Guéhi during this transfer window, with the Reds in serious need of defensive reinforcements before the transfer window closes. Jarell Quansah's move to Bayer Leverkusen at the start of July left Arne Slot with just 3 senior center-backs in his squad in Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima, Konate, and Joe Gomez. Liverpool has persistently been linked with a move for Guéhi, whose contract at Palace is due to expire next summer, while Leoni, 18, is a relatively new name to most Reds fans, after emerging as one of the most promising young defenders in Europe last season. Addressing Liverpool's pursuit of central defensive reinforcements, transfer guru Fabrizio Romano said, "Liverpool and the situation of Leoni and the situation of Marc Guéhi, Liverpool keeps working on both sides. It's not one or the other one." For Leoni, according to my information, Liverpool really like the player, they believe he is a top talent, but at the moment there is no official bid to buy. I think that Liverpool have something more than appreciation for this player. They started thinking about signing him. Leoni and Liverpool is something to keep an eye on. Marc Guéhi is a different situation, out of contract next summer. For Palace to lose him on a free would be a disaster, so for all parties to try and do business in these final 20 days is still a possibility. I don't think these two, Leoni and Guéhi, is something where we necessarily say that one deal is killing the other. We have to see what's going to happen, but Liverpool are working on both, seeing what they want to do, considering both opportunities. As soon as the financial situation becomes clear, we will see how they will decide to proceed, but Liverpool want to keep going in the market because the center-back position has been one of the priorities since the start of the window. They want to sign a center-back. They will sign a center-back, but we will see what's going to happen because Guéhi and Leoni are not necessarily alternatives to each other. Liverpool's need for a center-back reinforcements was underlined. Last month, as Gomez flew back from the Reds' preseason tour in Asia due to an Achilles injury. Gomez has a reputation for being injury-prone, and his 2024-25 campaign was ended at the beginning of February by a hamstring injury he sustained in an FA Cup game against Plymouth. Irrespective of when Gomez returns, it's clear that Slot cannot hang his hat on Gomez due to his fitness record. And Liverpool obviously cannot afford to go into the new season with Van Dijk and Konate as its only other center-backs. Gomez did not figure in either of the friendlies against Athletic Club at Anfield last week, and he was also absent from the squad for the Community Shield defeat by Crystal Palace, which means Liverpool could go into the Premier League opener against Bournemouth on Friday with just 2 fit center-backs available. Second news. Alexander Isak told to sack his agent as Liverpool transfer becomes more complicated. Newcastle striker. Alexander Isak has been told to sack his agent, with the Sweden international reportedly refusing to feature for his current club ever again. The 25-year-old has netted 54 goals in 86 Premier League appearances since moving to England 3 years ago, but has now told his employers that he wants to explore other opportunities. Newcastle signed Isak from Real Sociedad in 2022 after the player had previously attracted interest from Arsenal. And the talented frontman has turned into one of the deadliest finishers in the world during his time at St. James's Park, with the ace finding the back of the net during the Carabao Cup final last season as the Magpies saw off Liverpool to clinch silverware. His 23 league goals last term helped Newcastle secure their return to the Champions League as his side finished 5th in the Premier League table. Isak may have complicated his own future after reportedly telling Newcastle Chiefs that he has no desire to reintegrate with the Magpies squad. The forward missed his team's preseason tour of Asia due to a minor thigh injury and has since been training away from his teammates. He hasn't played during preseason, With Anthony Gordon leading the line during Newcastle's 2-0 defeat to Atletico Madrid on Saturday, Isak's situation has attracted plenty of interest throughout football, with a string of former players offering their take on it. And ex-Scotland international Don Hutchison, who featured 36 times for Sunderland during his playing days, wrote on X, formerly Twitter, "If I was Isak, I would sack my agent on the spot today." Footballers, even though they have a say and an opinion, generally take the advice from your agent. The agent has handled this saga incredibly bad. The agent is hanging his player out to dry for the money. Liverpool saw a $110 million bid for Isak turned down at the start of August and are yet to return with an improved offer. The Reds have already spent almost $300 million this summer and have bolstered their attack with the signings of Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike. And the club may be reluctant to increase their offer by a significant amount if Newcastle are unwilling to play ball. Meanwhile, Newcastle boss Eddie Howe has admitted he's unsure where Isak's future lies. "He's contracted to us. He's our player. The club make the decision on his future," Howe explained at the weekend. "I don't know what that will be. Of course, I have a preferred outcome. I want the best and strongest squad possible, but also I want players that really want to play for this club." Third news. Liverpool will bid. Fabrizio Romano teases impending Reds offer for world-class forward. Fabrizio Romano has indicated that Liverpool are planning to submit another transfer offer for Alexander Isak, after seeing their first bid rejected by Newcastle at the start of August. The Reds had submitted a proposal to the tune of $110 million for the Swedish striker, but the Tyneside club rebuffed it out of hand as they reiterated that he isn't for sale, The Guardian. However, the saga took a dramatic twist on Tuesday after David Ornstein reported, via The Athletic, that the 25-year-old has no intention of playing for the Magpies again, with the Times' Martin Hardy subsequently revealing that the player has moved. Out of his residence in the Northeast, Romano, Liverpool will bid again for Isak following these developments. Romano took to X at lunchtime to report that Liverpool intend to place another offer for Isak, once Newcastle indicate a willingness to sell. The Italian transfer guru posted, "Liverpool will bid again for Isak, as always planned since July. When Newcastle opened doors to his exit, no changes." Meanwhile, Ben Jacobs stated, via X, that the Reds are prepared to bid at least $120 million for the striker if they receive encouragement from the Tyneside club, who are seeking clarity on the situation this week. Are Newcastle likely to accept Liverpool's next offer for Isak? Newcastle had hitherto been adamant that they wouldn't sell Isak, but this morning's developments might yet prompt an alteration to that firm stance, with the world-class player, in the words of Alan Shearer and Danny Murphy, making it undeniably clear that he sees his future elsewhere. Of course, they'll naturally still want to earn what they believe to be fair market value for the 25-year-old. It may be a case of conceding some ground on their $150 million valuation if Liverpool offer close to that amount. It seems certain that the two clubs will need to meet somewhere in the middle if they're to agree upon a deal, and a bid of $120 million from the Merseysiders mightn't be enough to get the green light from the Magpies. It looks increasingly likely that the transfer will ultimately happen, given the extent to which Isak appears to have burned his bridges at Newcastle. It's a question of what fee the Reds would eventually have to pay, and when it might go through. We expect that a second offer will come from Liverpool in the next few days, at which point the onus will be on the St. James's Park hierarchy to determine whether it's to their satisfaction and they want to get the whole saga over and done with, or whether they continue to dig in and do all that they can to hold on to the striker. Fourth news. Alexander Isak moves out of Newcastle home in drastic bid to force Liverpool transfer. Alexander Isak's Newcastle home is up for rent, signaling the Swedish striker's intent to part ways with the club. a decision he has made abundantly clear. The forward's potential move to Liverpool, who have shown keen interest and even had an initial offer turned down, has been blocked. He remains frozen out of the first-team squad and was notably absent from a family day event for Newcastle's players. Following this snub, his residence in the Northeast was listed for rent. The Times reports that his eagerness to depart is so intense that he has vacated the Ponteland property, with the owner now on the hunt for new tenants. Isak has resided there since his transfer from Real Sociedad to Newcastle in 2022, a span of 3 years. The property first hit the market when Isak jetted off to Spain for personal training. It was listed for $6,250 per month on the same day he departed for Spain, where he trained with his former team in San Sebastian. Although it was briefly taken off the market, it is now being advertised again through a local letting agency. Earlier this month, Isak and his representatives halted contract negotiations with Newcastle and have consistently avoided any discussions about remaining at the club, further emphasizing his wish to leave. However, the St. James's Park bosses are maintaining a firm stance on the matter. Liverpool were informed that Newcastle would not entertain a sale after they had a bid of approximately $110 million turned down, leading them to withdraw from further talks. The Reds have stated they won't increase their offer unless the position at St. James's Park shifts. It's understood that even if Newcastle sign a new forward, they will not reverse their firm stance on Isak's future. Howe has been aware of the management's position and has been left to iron things out with the player. However, Isak is adamant he has played his last match for the club. The Swedish star, who netted a career-high 27 goals last season, has no intention of rejoining Newcastle's squad even if no agreement is reached before the 1st of September deadline. Thank you for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.